paramountcy. Let's walk into politics because that is going to be part of this event. The mini debate the former president will address will obviously talk about the lives of the people here, the opportunities here, and how they can be tapped to enhance the lives of the people who live in this community. Help us. We talk about Doma traditional area. This particular group of people who live here, what is the predominant source of livelihood?
Naturally, the predominant source of livelihood in Doma, number one, is poultry. Poultry farming or poultry activity is what goes on here. In fact, Doma feeds about 50-60% of the poultry industry in Ghana. So that is number one. Then we come to our peasant farming and other farming activities. However, one other thing that is also predominant over here is the cashew farming, which is taking over from, I'm not exaggerating, it's taking over from even our cocoa farming activity. In fact, cashew is becoming one of the areas Doma and its environs, even stretching to Sampa and Co, is tapping on seriously. So indeed, the main jobs that are being done here, or the activities that are being done here in Doma specifically, is the poultry, the cashew, and the peasant farming.
Now let's talk about the expectations of residents here. We are going towards the 2020 elections, and many people want what will enhance their lives. What are the issues that dominate the political discourse in this particular area?
There are myriad of them, but breaking them into bits and pieces. You know, when you are into the poultry industry, one area that we think that if we are able to tap it very well is when you are into the broader type of poultry activity. Now, this brother, when you pick them, it doesn't take much time. You'll be able to rear them and then sell off. But the point is that selling is a big issue over here, not only in Doma, but elsewhere in Ghana. So we were in the process, as at 2015-2016, talking to the ministries, especially the Ministry of Agri, that should there be anything, because Doma is predominantly poultry industry area, we should get some, maybe a cool house, big one, so that we'll be able to keep those broilers, if we kill them, and keep them there so that we are able to sell it rather than going outside Ghana to import these chicken.
I'll come back to you because we know we earlier prompted our viewers that we'll be speaking to at least a representative of this traditional council to help us appreciate this paramountcy. If you are watching us live, this is TVXYZ, Wezo TV on Facebook and YouTube. We are waiting for the arrival of the former president, NDC's 2020 candidate, and he's going to address the traditional authorities here. He's going to sell his campaign message. He's going to seek their blessing, and of course, as he prepares towards the 2020 elections, what the former president seeks to do is to share with them what he wants to do to improve the lives of the people in this area. But I say, good afternoon, you are live on TV, XYZ and Wezo TV. We are at your paramountcy, and courtesy suggests that we need to let the people appreciate where we are for them to show the respect that you deserve. Doma Traditional Council, when we talk about it, how big is it?
Well, thank you very much. But for the interest of my people, I like to speak in my local language so that they understand whatever I say. Doma Traditional Council, and as a Doma Traditional Area, no, as I say, I saw Boromhene. Now, my invitation, I come for present a community, Panana in Iowa. Now, I can say, be see, Emma, you an among. Now, no more you know, you who say, one way your dog of mine. And auntie incredible so, baby, I asked like I say by a sumaja. Actually, in your mind, one and I've call. And as a Doma Traditional Area, no, asase a ɛso wɔ Dormanhene mu na mo yɛn fiti aseɛ na yɛ akwamufo present akwamu fie pana na yɛnyina yɛwɔ na ahensɛm bi siɛ ɛma yɛtu anamɔn na anamɔn yɛtu no na yɛhu sɛ wɔn yɛ dɔ man yɛnante nkuro bebree so baabi a yɛasetena kɛseɛ baa yɛ ɛsomagya akyire yɛn nuanom a ne wɔn na no bi ne nkɔ
Asembiso na sesia yate se omato aba na oye Dormanhene wa ha omayi no as first regional that's president of the traditional council ebaye no muhu ne sen
ni jede efise emre no a na Dormanhene ana bro hafo ye create no na Dormanfo nyina ka Asante Confederacy na asuma ntekole na mre so na abanye tu committee ma won hwehwe ne ma bi na nso no me nya bro ahafo region anti Dormanhene na na Techimanhene na na konfi amiawo Dormanhene osajefo osiade ya adwuma do di kan sampanyimfo na struggle ya na na abochenhene ne mpanyimfo bi nka ho na di nya bro ahafo region sesi na Techimanhene no wo mo so nya different region na yan so ya ka no so you different region na Dormanfo ni nyina na ye wo ha no babakọ se man kan wie ye free ba re nya kotena bondugu ekodibuwa bona bono hene sese a owo na Dormanhene no fa no no nti free ho na ye samba Dormanhene kura ye hu sense ase bebre wa ha nti Dormanhene sese ye kapa in terms of a year Dormanhene no ye A B C D A no gina ho ma abisim B ni gina ho ma boma C ni gina ho ma kira ena D ni kira ma ye wo ha no nti ye 6 administrative districts na se na etie ne se Dormanfo betena ha no na se asomdue aba na de enema nyina de ni se ne ye pe obi a ebedi anka yanko agina kura Dormanhene a otwa mu a ne nipa foforo abai ko no ne se de konwa no ma no ana ekotena so no in fact na edin if you about to me de na ye medin but ni na eche Dormanhene yankunim
ene omampeni deda John Dramani Mahama eba besramu obesre empaibo otuana mon towards 2020 elections na mo gina wa wetu no amanfo ehwemo ahate sen bibia boko de
Dormanhene mu de se medika aka no e Dorman ohoho bi obebe bia no yetie na asem na mo mu ni se politics nse na esitie enye ne ameka anana se bi obi beka no na de ye adwuma no na me sre ne se ya mana wa wetu omra on kan sempa bi a ya emre bi a Dormanfo ni gye no na on cheche mu kwa ni mu na on che foforo nso wona adwen mu ono na ebetima boa ye de ewu a bia we ya mani nhira ya mana kwa aba ya mana kwa no be faso a e bobo mpa ya ma no ne na oge ne sabeka
yo mpacho wada Roma me bae no nka ebehia se mebo wudin naija wakwaye nana mambo wudin yi na akofa mfomso bi aba wa bo wudin na manfo hu se onipa we ana yetie no
very mabu abasa oponya ababio Dormanhene Jason
Wezo TV any TV XYZ edawase. So we just had a brief summary of the Dormanhene Traditional Council. In its presentation, it talks about 6 divisional traditional areas which fall under this paramountcy. He made reference to Côte d'Ivoire, parts of the Ashanti region, and so on and so forth. He even mentioned parts of the northern region. What really it signifies is the fact that we are all one people. We have migrated over the years. Some of our brothers and sisters may be living outside this traditional area, but whichever way it is, we are still the same people. If you want to go beyond the borders of Ghana, perhaps it is because of the demarcation by the colonial masters, which have segregated our part of the our continent into maybe Ghana, Togo, Côte d'Ivoire, Burkina Faso, and so on. But that is the significance of traditional authorities, how broad they are and how they operate. I'm walking towards the background and then to help us to understand the environment here, the atmosphere here, ahead of the arrival of the former president, John Dramani Mahama, and his delegation. As I've told you, they have been in the Bono region since Monday. What they have been doing over the period is to sell their campaign message. They've been speaking to various traditional authorities, meeting various groups of people, speaking to ordinary citizens of this part of the country. And they have received him well. The overwhelming response gives him the indication that the people are buying into his message. Behind the cameraman or ahead of me is a lot of activity. There's drumming and dancing. You see some of the traditional authorities seated waiting for Dormanhene himself to get down upon signal that the former president is arriving. There are people around. All of them are anxious. Let me speak to a few of them. Gentlemen, you are live on TV. Dear Koswa, who is saying?
The day about television, so I am a say, yeah, former president Oba Dormanhene Kura, Menia Japa, na me vampire swamani say 2020, Yamebe Boyana, Yatimia Diacunyano, Edia free MPP for some. Now, therefore, your woman, we have bre papa, ye bre because me who are buying Wabete a draft for court, Edia Maye. Ada for ye nyakama for na minimise nana Dormanhene eba bompaya ma ya papa John Dramani Mahama na wasia baba mu okada for so kan hu bi o so bre na ya tete se ya ba ye betwa okada for agu ene de Ghana ekombedi ye wa assemble report na ya bompaya ma papa Dramani se obesia ba konwa so na wabeji afiri ya hamu ti yabesi asisem ni yayi no na ya de ya papa Mahama asan ya babiem.
So that appears to be the sentiment on the ground, but I want to engage a few more. There are some women here. Madam, good afternoon. You are live on TV XYZ and Wizard TV.
Mpacho budwana femi oba mansa OGT fie mpacho I say Joma ni Mahama no mpena sampa sanse I say mpapa nti de I say o man mpena sampapa sanse I say already yefie maye mandi Mahama oye ejo oye bodo
Pacho na membe se o na mono eden na edam akoma so yakwakoto aba eden na ehiamo edam akoma so asa o mampani dada ne ba na oka ho asama mo furu se wakabia ma mo ahyemobo
mpa hwe from ofiria KDS Dormanhene mirekuhene no wapase dem ne ohia ye pa titro yakwane ne yankura no sese so no nkura no benko school oya reho sempa maye nti ya rie ya bai yankoparo hu ya mobo no nhye ni mwanyame wo yankura no so be yankura no bebetima ko school amaye ne yemma no so self education no ye hu ni yie ye hu education ni yie kura nkura no be didie no nyefe okwafie mu bi bedu ne niama basabasa ndame nyame ni kasemi ofilia pa mirekuhine Dormanhene na wafase dem nti abrasan no so KDS nkasa hu sa bibi ye pa education ya na mboa mi hu ni ye KDS ya kwane nyefe abu number 4 ye mo usi ya kwane so ye kwane ye mo
Okay, thank you very much. So in summary, she's talking about roads, she's talking about education. She thinks that the current policy, which offers free education, but there are no structures not properly being implemented, is an issue of concern to them. And they think that if there's a promise to manage it properly, that is what they want as a people. Gentlemen, you are live on TV.
Yeah, thank you. Midawasi Bibri. I'm saying, there now will be sa. Yeah, my minu ina ya TV bripa. Ni di kanu ya da nyamiasi. Abato ne kosu na osaje for adi nkuni wa abato no ne de. Edi kana ma ye ni agi kese pa. Na ne eto so mienu. Ye papa John Dramani Oba ha no. No kure ni ama ye ni agi. Die tie ni agi se. Se sɛnea na ɔteɛ dada no sɛnea na ɔteɛ dada na eni no na ɔyɛ ade a dɔmafoɔ ana yɛsɛ NDC baa so no abato baa so no NDC foɔ na ayɛ ade ama dɔmafoɔ obi abɛdi adanseɛ enti sɛ NDC firi so ane dɔma yɛ mpuntu ayɛ basaa kyɛ sɛ woka wontimi nka nkosi ebi nsi ɔmo yɛ adwuma nanso hwɛ
I've just spotted the aspiring parliamentary candidate for this area. This afternoon may be his day because the former president is coming to pay homage to the traditional authorities here. We'll seek their blessings. And what he has done in many of the places we have visited is that he introduces the candidate to the people in the area. Now, sir, the man in white, I don't know why you are already in white. Is it signifying that you are smelling victory?
Well, obviously yes. Actually, white is my natural color. You know, I'm black, so black and white, and that is my secret. But it also tells you, we say that certain events cast their shadows before them. I come from the royal family here. Osajefo is my grandpa. He went to Bronx region to contest and he has won. So it brings a lot of joy to some of us. That is the reason why I'm in white.
We sense that when we try to speak to a few of the residents who have come around to listen to the former president. Now, while we wait, we are getting closer to the elections. When we talk about Doma traditional area, which specific major towns constitute part of this area? And then what are the key issues on the table for people to speak to?
Well, Doma is a very large, municipality. We have Dormanhene, which is the capital where we are standing now. Apart from Dormanhene, we have other principal, communities and towns, including Amasu, including Abuabo. Abuabo is a very large area, but it's segmented into numbers. We have number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4. Then quite apart from Abuabo, you have communities like Nsuhia, Esikesu, Badukrum, Babianiha, Denyame, Nsesreso, and a host of other principal communities in Doma.
We are told many of your roads are bad. Can you walk us through the historical background on some of the initiatives taken by previous administration and where we are now?
Well, what you are telling me is true. Most of our roads are still bad. Yesterday, for instance, when the former president and my flag bearer came here and were taking him around the municipality, he witnessed some of the bad roads in deplorable states. Thankfully, during the time of NDC, we were able to face some of the roads. One of the roads that we were able to face, which has brought a lot of relief to my people, is that from preventive, going through Kofiasia, Sromani, and Trifo, back to Babianiha. That is the hometown of our big brother, Dr. Opuni. Then Badukrum, that is the border community. That's where Ghana shares border directly with Cote d'Ivoire. Then you take it again from Antrifo through to the Ajimankrom, to Dababi, to Denyame. In fact, it was our intention to extend it to Benekwakurum Sokura. That is where we share boundary with Cote d'Ivoire.
So all these fell under the Cocoa Roads project?
Under the Cocoa Roads project. And that's not all. We benefited a lot from NDC government under the leadership of His Excellency John Dormanhene Mahama. That was incidentally also the very time that I was the municipal chief executive here. So we did a lot. And with the help of Ghana Cocoa Board, through Dr. Opuni, who is our own man, he helped a lot. Quite apart from that route, we also started the route from Trimersu through Amersu to Gambia number 2. There was a contractor on the road. He did very well. In local balance, let me say, he did what we call the first code. He wanted to join the route to the Gambia number 2 route. But unfortunately, when he was on it was the time that we had the election and we were booted out of office. Because of that, this current government, he asked the contractor to stop work because they said that they were going to look into some of.
Okay, so we know much about that history. Now let's talk on sectors of the economy here. I want us to start with education. We know that it is the basis for you to generate the human resource you want and to improve the lives of the people. Before we talk about specific initiatives taken by your government, then I want us to look at the challenges in this area. When we talk about education, how widespread are the gaps?
Well, when you talk about education, thankfully now we have most of our young guys who are into schools. And parents, let me say, have also changed their attitude now, probably due to some of the initiatives that we have already taken and those taken in the past. So now it is not as bad as it used to be. And when you talk also about educational infrastructure, we still are doing very well as a municipality. But then there is more that we need to do. As we are talking, you know, it's a very big area. The population is very high. We still need a lot of educational opportunities. Our main senior high school, that is Dormanhene Senior High School, has been serving the community for years. Let me reckon that we have Salvation Army Senior High School, which is now in Abuabo. The people of Amersu have also started. The chiefs and people of Amersu, they have started the Adeshimai Senior High School. During our time too, you wouldn't want us to go into that right now. But let me quickly say this. During our time, we also ventured into building the community day senior high school. It is in one of the communities at Denyame.
Was it completed?
It wasn't. We were able to reach the second floor stage. Unfortunately, when we left office, the project, you know the behavior of this current government, the project has been abandoned. This is what has happened. So in terms of education, let me quickly say that we have done well. And let me also give a lot of credit. It is not because I belong to NDC. It is not because I am the former municipal chief executive. I think NDC has done very, very, very well in contributing to education in the municipality.
Let's move away to the health sector. It is one area which is dear to the heart of the former president. He has always taken the credit for bold initiatives he has taken, from CHIPS compounds to district hospitals to polyclinics to quaternary facilities like the one we have at the next elections. For you as a candidate, what is your vision to help improve access for the people in this area?
For the people of Doma, we have our district hospital belongs to the Presby Church. It is a mission hospital, and ever since its establishment, no government has been able to do any monumental projects over there. But during the time of Dormanhene Mahama, we were able to solve a very critical problem. Which problem was that we were having challenges with our before the doctor can tell you which part of your body is affected, whether you are to be admitted or you are to be asked to go home, and then some medication prescribed for you. In the past, we were having an OPD that was very congested. As I have said, even before John Mahama came into office, we were sharing our hospital, our health facility with people from Doma West, Doma East, Doma Central here, and part of people from Côte d'Ivoire. You know, we share direct boundary with Côte d'Ivoire, people from Côte d'Ivoire. So always the hospital was congested, not to talk about the OPD. Anytime you went there, you could see children and adults.
So have new ones been added, or you envisage that as the NDC prays it wins the 2020 elections, you make sure you push for more additional facilities?
Quickly, when we came into office, knowing that problem, we moved to solve it. What we did was that we decided to build a pediatric center so that children can have their own OPD. Today, as I'm talking to you, we're able to build state-of-the-art facility at Doma Presbyterian Hospital. This one was done by government through the municipal assembly. It wasn't a government of Ghana project, but I can tell you it is state-of-the-art. A two-story or a story building for that matter, the first in the history of Dormanhene Hospital. When we completed it, now children do not have to go to OPD again to compete with adults. So they have their own P, and it has brought a lot of relief. For they didn't have any health facility, but thanks be to God, we were able to secure some Japanese grants, and we used that one for that CHIPS compound. We built one at Abonsra Krom, also a very large community. Now the people are relieved; they can quickly and easily access health, service. We also built one at Yaokrom Kumikrom. Yaokrom Kumikrom is a twin community with a lot of, if you like, settler communities around. We're able to build one there. And we started one at Mantewari. Unfortunately, we reached about 80% completion and we couldn't finish. This government decided to abandon it.
I will still engage you. I just want those watching us to look at the background. Those are jubilant NDC supporters who are celebrating ahead of the arrival of the former president. This is TVXYZ Wezo TV. We have been following the former president on his move, campaigning around the Bono region, and today is the last day of his tour. I've seen Nana here. Nana, I'm told, yes, I'll give you some space so that you can remove your nose mask and then I can speak to you. The news has been that you have defected to another political party. What is the news? I've seen you in party colors.
I am a who be brave. Sir, on what me come here to social media. Some may differ from NDC to MPP. A bit sit that because I know where I'm coming from and I know where I'm going. And the MPP for no yes, in some phone. Me person mumra no mumma confirm. Some me MPP member. Me mfansuo enyina manum enkasa. Because I know, yes. Me MPP member. Na me MPP so that.
Now I am say when you abre, dentina when you abre sir.
Dentina so mu betwa me. Ode me to social media. Some me reflection from NDC to MPP. Mo ba mi krom. Some ba be commission school dane. Mo na mo di no smart se be na mo chichama obia. Because of the Ariana Abanti, Monsieur Bianche. Madame Media Comaya, which I made the Mako to social media said, my free MP, NDC, MPP. It's very embarrassing.
Now, natural say, no smacks near the mount, no MPP colors also.
I am MPP colors. Namino full say, just ordinary you be
and the warriors is here no acquire sense and training. Now, young Kampun to Juma Ewo Bronoha, Yaka Doma traditional area. Obiabeka say ahindi bia pe say mpunti obeba ni krom na ahanom no aman yoku a omotumi ebu manida meka NDC ni MPP no dien e na obetumi de won say obo aka say omaya say mugina ho amodi adanse
we di akura ya won ndakura enim NDC baso no ya ka Rosua Koko Rosua number 1 Dormanhene hakura ya wono street light ni nyina wa bontum nyina no honorable godness wanted time and yes ankane ni nyina omo ankasa nim edi adanse e kire say mpuntu dwuma de no challenger they can challenge NDC.
Now waka ka kwai ho asem yenhwe kanea yenhwe nsuo obika say apomodin hospital so
check compare
you're from Eric
monsieur from na ne fireboa yaka mpun design ayaresa ho asem dia anu na edi kan ye check compound so yesisi bit to say number 1 woko ba bit to say abonsakro na dia anu ni the most important na ye di kan na me say ye tumbia no ha kese anu achi enyuma nketenkete bebre ensuo de me say no de nyama bebre a o maye nti oni de nyade a membo da megina aka nkura na se anase kronki tuomfori nyina di adanse yesa de mekan enya ntro na metwa
nti answer na obekọ no nkronkro a etwa hia ewo area ha no memfisa bia wo afotuo enya man yosem and you say yade aba you say obi nko school you say obi nhwe their political parties ka no mu ngina so ento aba ma omo obi mo say asomdwe wo kwe afotuo ben and odbema omo mu tie yen na mamu na omo krom ha
afotuo be de be mo omo ne say ewiase de obi nsi yirodo matoa samre ya ye wo mu no o say ye hwe yasetrem say omo aka nwasem no say ye hwe yasetrem to aba no yenso ye be hwe yasetrem ato aba no say ne fata.
Thank you very much, Nana. So this is one of the traditional authorities here, one of the sub-chiefs, or maybe, let me just summarize it that way, who appears to be very angry. In summary, he says there was a function here. He was given a nose mask. The nose mask was branded, and it was carried on social media that he is a member of the governing MPP. That issue has provoked him, and he wants to make a statement, and the statement he's making is that he has put on NDC regalia, he has put on NDC nose mask, and he wants to send a strong signal to the whole world that he's not a member of the MPP, and therefore those who have gone around to describe him as such, what they did is an insult to him. As we speak, I've just spotted him, and he has removed those branded nose masks. And so what he did was basically to send a strong notice that he doesn't belong to that party, and he has said it categorically that because NDC has done so much to improve the lives of the people within this area, Doma traditional area, he thinks that if that government wants to come back again, he will be one of the people who give testimony and encourage the youth to vote for that party. Now, I've walked here because I've seen one of the aspiring candidates, the Doma West NDC parliamentary candidate. She's seated here waiting for the arrival of the former president. I want to engage her a little. Madam, good afternoon and welcome to TVXYZ Wezo TV.
Thank you.
Now, I see you so anxious. I'm sure we've been to your constituency already. As we wait for the arrival of the former president, how do you feel?
I feel so much glad with them, because NDC is a very precious party, and the president, John Dramani Mahama, is someone who always ready to help the community and the people of Ghana.
I know you are a midwife, and you know a little, you better appreciate the health needs of this area. Walk us through. When we talk about health infrastructure, what do you know and what can you share?
In fact, it's a very great to share with the people of Ghana about infrastructure of health. Now, the people at this area are mostly farmers.
I'll go ahead, but just for the purpose of making sure those watching us know exactly who they are. When you were active in the sector, where specifically were you working?
I was working as a midwife on my own for the past 23 years, and I've upgraded my facility to a health center. As such, I was taking care of both medical cases and the antenatal mothers. Okay,
so let's go ahead with the infrastructure needs in this area and what governments over the period have been able to add to improve access.
Now, the NDC government managed to put up some health facilities, the Chiefs compound and then the health centers. And then Wafie Hospital, being a hospital now, was a health center and was upgraded to polyclinic during the past NDC government, and later upgraded it to the hospital state. But from then, the hospital needs some quarters for the workers and then hospital beds, and that was the end from where he ended the facility.
Are you suggesting that nothing much has been added?
Since the NDC government was off.
And you can say this on authority?
For that, I'm sure when the NDC government comes again, the infrastructure will be expanded to a district.
Before I cut in, you were making reference to the fact that many people living in this community are farmers. Why were you drawing us closer to who they are and perhaps the conversation that is on?
I said their financial status is very low, and that the health insurance should also be expanded to the lowest level so that everybody can attend to the hospital for medical care.
As a midwife, because once a midwife, always a midwife, the NDC manifesto, I understand, has an aspect which talks about primary health care, which will be free. For you as a midwife and understanding the economy in this area and the fact that, as you made reference to the facilities available, how significant is that and how will it directly impact on the people here?
It will make a very great impact for everybody to get access to health care, because most of them are not having the health insurance. And as such, I have to help them to get it, or others have to get the treatment free. Whilst there's nothing like that free primary health care. So I was very glad to hear the former president mention the free primary health care. And as such, I have to work harder to bring him up again so that the primary health care, the free one, will be in asset to everybody.
So thank you very much. That's the Dorma West parliamentary candidate. I want us to walk to where there is drumming and dancing so that we can have a taste of the activity there as the young men and women wait for the arrival of the former president. And when you see the seats here, they are well arranged. And of course, when the former president and those following him come, I know on authority that is being followed by Dr. Opuni, who is the former Cocoa Board chief executive, Honorable Julius Debra, who is the former chief of staff and a member of the NDC 2020 campaign team, is also following him. Johnson Asiedun Ketia, the general secretary of the party, is also following the former president. We have former appointees who are following him, NDC regional and constituency executives, and of course many others who will be following. These seats are arranged to get them seated for them to openly address the traditional authorities here. Now, this activity has been ongoing since the conversation started, and as you heard on the background, they were drumming and dancing. So I want us to walk to them so that we can have a feel of their activities. Masa Pacho, Pacho, Obia Shemo, our TV so, Mumbro China, Mushebi, our TV so. lot of activity here ahead of the arrival of the former president. And then at the back here are party supporters who are also beating their drums, and you can see jubilation all over, and they're having fun ahead of the former president. You have had a feel of the dancing here. Let me engage the regional youth organizer of the NDC, who is perhaps tracking the movement of the former president, and can help us appreciate what is happening. Yes, so I'm sure by now you are tracking the movement of the former president. Where are they now, and how early are they expected to join us?
Yeah, currently they've left German North constituency. Yeah, so in 30 minutes time they should be in Dormanhene. Yeah, and then very important, this particular day is very important to us because the president is ending his tour today, and then ending it in the palace of the Dormanhene. And you know, as we already said, the Dormanhene has been victorious in the House of Chief election, and as we are ending our Bono tour, he is coming here for a victorious blessing from a victorious man. So it's not just an ordinary visit. That's why this is the last visit of our former president. So we are coming for a victorious blessings from a victorious man today who has been the president of the the regional House of Chief for Bono.
Now, so what should people expect? We know that I tried to mention the names of some of those who are following him. You have been with him throughout. Can you help us understand what people should expect ahead of the arrival of the former president?
Oh, okay. For now, we are expecting the former Chief of Staff, that's Honorable Julius Debra, the General Secretary himself. Is also part of the team, the national organizer, other national executives, and the regional executives, and also the former appointees, and some of the MPs who are also accompanying him to the place. The former Cocoa Board CEO is also part of the team. And you know, one thing that has made the whole tour very interesting is about the message of hope our former president has brought to us. The hope that is given to the SHS students who have completed and are about to go to the university. You know, we are told they are going to pay half school fees, that's in the next semester. And not only that, they are not the only people going to pay. The continuing students are also going to pay same amount, the half of their school fees. And not that alone, after that, they are going to give them loan to settle the rest of the debt. And this is a message that almost all the people have bought into. Look, the whole area, Dormanhene area, Catchment area, the whole area they are into cashew production. They grow cashew in larger quantities. And as at now, I can tell you that the price of cashew is 1 cedi 50 pesos. That's 1 cedi 50 pesos. That's 150 Ghana cedis. And during our time, it was 900 cedis. So the former president coming back to the region, to the constituency, promising hope to them, shows that he has something good for them. And one thing about Dormanhene constituency is the whole area, all the infrastructure projects were being done by NDC. All the infrastructure projects, the hospitals, the clinics, the roads, almost everything that you can see in Dormanhene, infrastructure-wise, was done by former President John Mahama and then President Mills. You see, that's why anytime the chief, President John Mahama comes, the chief is always happy to welcome him. So today, as I said, is very significant. We have one victory already. That's our chief being victorious in the national regional House of Chiefs, and we know these blessings that he's coming to receive from Osei Adeyo Ajimambedu is going to translate into the December 7th election that we are waiting for.
The NDC sounds very optimistic. Is it because of the overwhelming response you have received as you went round the Bono region, or you are banking this hope on the manifesto promise?
we are not banking our hope on the rousing welcome. And it's also part though, because I have been in the region for the past 24 years. And it has never happened. The rousing welcome that we received, our former president received, has never happened. We were in this election 2016. There are some places you go, even the chief will be redundant to meet you. You see, but now look at how it started from Brekum throughout our tour. That's why I said it's just because of the message of hope that our people have heard. Message of hope that they are even cashew. According to the former president, cashew spraying is going to be free for them. You see, the spraying of cashew is going to be free for them. And then there are a lot of good things that are in the manifesto that people are pounding their hope on.
All right, so that is Walanyo Chepo, the regional youth organizer of the party. We are the scenes here, and a few minutes ago, I'm sure you saw on your screen some traditional authorities who were dancing. They are excited. Their excitement is double-fold that the former president, NDC's 2020 candidate, is visiting them. Obviously, he's coming here to receive their blessing as he wraps up his tour of the Bono region. Again, the Dormanhene has made history. The history the Dormanhene has made is that he's the first president of the newly created Bono Regional House of Chiefs. We are told in 30 minutes' time, the former president and his entourage will arrive here. We are going for a short break. As soon as he arrives, Wezo TVXZ will be live again, and we can continue the broadcast of whatever will transpire here at the Doma Traditional Council, the Dormanhene's Palace. Thank you for watching, and don't go far.